Welcome, welcome to the Madison Miller podcast. Tonight I have two special guests on the show. My two good friends that love college basketball, Celina, Scotti, and Joe Russo. How are you guys doing on this fine Tuesday night as we sit here and wait for the NCAA tournament to begin?
I'm doing great.
That's great.
You're doing great.
You're doing great too, and I'm doing great too. I'm very fired up for this tournament. We missed out on this last year because of COVID, as we know, and we finally get this back. So, as I said, we're going to start at the top left of the bracket, which is the West region. We don't have to talk about the 16 seed playing game in Gonzaga. We could just pencil Gonzaga into the round of 32. Gonzaga is just going to destroy whomever they're going to play by 30. But the game beneath them in the bracket is Oklahoma-Missouri. That's an 8-9 matchup. I'm going to take Oklahoma to advance. I don't like Missouri. I thought they overachieved this season. I thought Oklahoma overachieved too, but I like Oklahoma's coach Lon Kruger, so I think Oklahoma moves on. Who do you like? Who do you guys like?
I like Oklahoma also.
I'm going Missouri, taking the underdog.
Ooh, I like it, see? Going against us. All right, the 5-12 is interesting. Creighton, UC Santa Barbara. A lot of people like Santa Barbara for the upset. Not me. I'm going Creighton.
I'm going with the upset. I think that, the fact that Creighton got killed by Georgetown, that's going to stick with them, and they're going to lose.
Yeah, Creighton did get killed by Georgetown. You're absolutely right. I think they rebound. They have the best player on the court in the game, obviously. Although Santa Barbara's really good, I think they have a chance to win. I'm probably going to bet on them to cover the point spread, but I'm not going to pick them to win the game. I'm going to go Creighton in the bracket. Virginia, Ohio. Obviously, Virginia has the COVID issues going on, but I think they'll beat Ohio and move on.
I agree.
I'm going to go with Ohio.
Ooh.
2 weeks away from basketball. The players not being around each other, that's going to have an effect, and I think they're going to lose.
Yeah, Virginia might lose. I won't be shocked if Virginia loses, but I'm going to go with Virginia. They're technically the national champs, the defending national champs as we speak, because don't forget last year was canceled, so they're still the reigning champions.
They're not going back-to-back.
Yeah, I don't think they're going back-to-back either. All right, the playing game, Wichita State or Drake? Who do you guys like in that play-in for the winner goes on to face USC?
I think Wichita State's going to win. I think Drake overachieved because of a bad division.
Bad conference. I disagree. I'm going Drake, actually.
No, I also have Drake.
All right, so me and CC are together on that one. Wichita State, all due respect, I think they're good, but if Drake loses to Wichita State, then I'm probably going to change up my bracket a little bit because I like this Drake team, actually. I know they're in a bad conference and stuff, but they play really, really good defense, although Wichita State does too. That was a tough call for me. Kansas, Eastern Washington, I think that's obvious about Kansas. Oregon, VCU. I'm going to go with the Ducks. I just think that the Ducks are just built for March. Dana Altman's a good coach. All due respect to VCU, who's not a bad team.
I'm with you with that.
I agree also.
Yeah, Oregon's awesome. Iowa, Grand Canyon, I think Luka Garza is obviously the best player on the court. I don't think we need to talk about Iowa, Grand Canyon. All right, to the next side of the bracket. Michigan, they should beat the winner of the playing game, although they do have a key injury that they're dealing with right now with Isaiah Livers, but I don't think that'll hurt them yet. LSU St. Bonaventure's beneath them. That's an interesting game. LSU overachieved this year, and then Bonaventure won the A-10.
I'm going LSU.
Yeah, I'm going LSU also.
Let's make it 3 for 3. I'm also on LSU. Colorado, Georgetown. Obviously, Georgetown's an auto bid because they won the Big East tournament. Colorado overachieved this season. They have a great player, McKinley McKnight or whatever his name is. I'm going with Colorado over Georgetown.
Agree.
I'm going with Georgetown.
Ooh, Patrick Ewing. I hope you're right, Joe, but
I met him in the Bahamas.
You met Patrick Ewing in the Bahamas. That's wonderful. I love Patrick Ewing. I'm rooting for Georgetown, but I'm going with Colorado, if that makes sense. I think Florida State should have no issue with UNC Greensboro. You guys aren't picking the upset, are you?
No.
Okay. BYU will face the winner of Michigan State and UCLA. That is a really solid play-in game right there. Michigan State, UCLA, obviously two blue blood schools underachieved this year. I think UCLA upsets Michigan State. I think you guys are on the other side.
Yeah, I'm Michigan State.
I think that Sparty, something's not right with Sparty. To me, they're too inconsistent. I could be wrong. I know March is Izzo time, as they always say, but I don't think UCLA is that bad. I think UCLA actually beats Michigan State, but I don't feel good about it. Abilene Christian in Texas, I think Texas will move on, but Abilene Christian could be the Stephen F. Austin. Do you guys remember Stephen F. Austin from a couple years ago?
Mm-hmm.
They upset West Virginia and they upset somebody else like 7 years ago. I think they could be the Stephen F. Austin of the tournament, but I don't think they're going to beat Texas. Uconn and Maryland, I think that's an interesting 7-10. I'm going with Uconn.
I'm going with Maryland.
Ooh.
Their conference was very strong.
Going Maryland.
Oh, you guys disagree with me. I'm going Uconn. I just think Uconn's better. Maryland's in a better conference for sure, but I'm going with Uconn there. Alabama against Iona. The only funny thing about that is that Iona is coached by Rick Pitino, and Rick Pitino used to coach Louisville and used to coach Kentucky, and neither of those teams are in the tournament this year. So that's the only funny subplot about that game. Alabama should cruise against Rick Pitino's team. All right, to the bottom right corner of the bracket we go. That's this Illinois bracket. They should handle Drexel. Drexel won the CAA conference. A fun game in the 8-9. I like this game. Loyola Chicago, Georgia Tech. Loyola Chicago won the Missouri Valley. Georgia Tech won the ACC tournament.
Georgia Tech.
Joe?
I'm going with Loyola Chicago.
I'm with you, Joe. I'm going Loyola as well. I just think Loyola plays good defense. Do you guys remember Sister Claire from the tournament? God, when was that when they made the...
for underdogs.
Yeah, what was that, like 3 years ago when they're in the Final Four, Loyola Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
Sister Claire was the super fan. She's going to be at the tournament, apparently. So I'm going to go with Loyola against Georgia Tech, although Georgia Tech's not a bad team. Tennessee, Oregon State's the 5-12 in this region. A lot of people like Oregon State to upset Tennessee. I'm not one of them.
No.
Yeah, I agree. Tennessee's going to win.
Tennessee.
Tennessee's better than Oregon State. Oregon State wouldn't have been in if they didn't win the Pac-12 tournament. This is a fun one. Oklahoma State, Liberty. I know Oklahoma State has the best player in the country in Cade Cunningham, who's going to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft come the summertime. And Liberty upset Mississippi State a couple years ago, and they've been like a trendy double-digit seed team. Who do you guys like in that one?
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that.
I'm going with the upset, guys. Everybody loves Oklahoma State. There's always that one team that everybody just pencils in to make a deep run every year that loses early. I think that could be Oklahoma State. I want to be wrong because Cade Cunningham's a great player. But like Liberty just feels like that team that always pulls off upsets. All right, this is a fun one. I think you two are going to disagree on that one, and I think I'm going to agree with Joe here. San Diego State and Syracuse.
Hughes.
San Diego State.
I'm with Joe. I was right. I had a feeling because Joe said to me the other day that he liked San Diego State. San Diego State's really, really good. Syracuse just drew the wrong opponent. I know your friend goes to Syracuse, CC, but I'm going with San Diego State. I just think they're a better team. West Virginia should easily get by Morehead State. Morehead State won the OVC. Clemson, Rutgers. I think you two are going to agree, and I'm going to disagree. Let's see.
I'm going Rutgers.
Yeah, Rutgers, 100%.
I'm actually going to go with Clemson here, guys. Rutgers is going to have the best player on the court in this game, but I actually think that Clemson could beat them. Clemson, I don't think is that good, but I just have a feeling about that. There's always like that weird team that's really not that good that wins a game. I think that might be Clemson, so I could be wrong. I want Rutgers to win, obviously, because they're a Jersey team, but I'm going to go with the Tigers. And then Houston, Cleveland State. Houston should steamroll Cleveland State, who won the Horizon League. And then the top right, which is Baylor's bracket. Baylor's playing Hartford in the first, or I should say the first round, not the second round. The second round's Baylor against the winner of Wisconsin, Carolina. Wisconsin and Carolina is an interesting game. Two blue bloods that both disappointed this year. I'm going to go with the Tar Heels. They're starting to play a little better, and they should have beaten Florida State the other night.
I'm going Wisconsin.
You're going Wisconsin, see?
I know North Carolina's going to win, but I want to see Wisconsin.
You want to see Wisconsin, but who'd you pick in your bracket? You went with Carolina?
No.
You did go with Wisconsin. Interesting. I think Wisconsin can win, but I'm going with the Tar Heels. This is a popular upset pick. There's Villanova and Winthrop. You going with Winthrop with me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes! We're all on an upset pick here with Winthrop over Villanova. Villanova has lost two good players for the year with Justin Moore and Colin Gillespie, so I think Winthrop advances there. Purdue and North Texas. I think Purdue should win that game pretty easily.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Tech, Utah State's very interesting. Texas Tech, Chris Beard, they made the national championship game a couple years ago. Utah State's a good team from the Mountain West Conference. Who do you guys like?
I like Texas Tech.
Yep, Texas.
I want to go Texas Tech. I think it's better for the sport if Texas Tech advances, but I have a good feeling about Utah State. They play good defense. They might have the best player on the court in this game. We'll see, but I'm going to go Utah State in that one just to be different. Arkansas, Colgate. Arkansas should cruise. Colgate has good numbers in terms of like the metrics and stuff, but I'm going Arkansas. This is an interesting.
Really?
You like Colgate? You're buying in all the numbers?
Mm-hmm.
They're like a top 10 team in the net.
They put up 85 points a game.
They do put up 85 points a game. You're right. And
you're gonna win.
that won't be stunning. I won't be like stunned if Colgate won, but I'm gonna go Arkansas. They've been playing really well lately. Florida and Virginia Tech's the 7-10. I like this matchup a lot. I think either team can win. I don't really love either of these teams, but I just think these two teams would play a good game against one another. I'm gonna go with the Gators.
I'm also going Gators.
You're going Gators, and Joe's going with Vatek. Interesting. Vatek, I think, can win. They have a good coach. They're in a good conference. Florida, I thought, disappointed a little bit this year. And Vatek, to be fair, Joe, I thought that they should have been a higher seed than a 10. Florida, I think they got overseeded. So I think that's very odd that I'm picking the team that I felt was overseeded rather than the team that was underseeded in this game. And then Ohio State should beat Oral Roberts. All right, round of 32. Back to the Gonzaga side of the bracket. Do you guys have Gonzaga into the Sweet 16?
Yep.
So do I. Who do you have Gonzaga facing? I'm going to have Virginia.
I have Ohio.
Ooh, Ohio in the Sweet 16. That's fun. I have a 13 in the Sweet 16. I'll say who it is in a little bit. Who do you have Gonzaga playing? Virginia or Creighton?
Virginia.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you. All right. This is where it gets wild for me. I have in that quadrant in the West region beneath Gonzaga and Virginia, I have Drake beating Kansas and Oregon beating Iowa. So I have two upsets on that side of the bracket. So you guys both like the SC, right? Against the Wichita Drake winner?
I have Kansas versus Oregon.
You have Kansas, Oregon?
Oregon also.
Kansas, Oregon. That won't surprise me. Kansas has a couple injuries and COVID issues, so that's why I have them out in the second round. But at least we all agree on the Ducks. The Ducks are a team that tends to play well in March every year, and we agree that obviously Luka Garza and Iowa out in the second round. Who do you guys have as the Elite Eight in the Gonzaga region?
Okay.
I have Gonzaga facing Oregon.
I also have that.
I have Gonzaga against, wait for it, but this could change depending on the result of the Wichita-Drake game. I'm going to go with Drake. I think Drake could be the Loyola Chicago of a couple years ago, except not make the Final Four. We all have Gonzaga in the Final Four, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, Gonzaga, I think, has a clear path to the Final Four. But if Drake loses, I'm going to change it, obviously, and on all the websites, you're able to change your picks. If your first four pick is incorrect, you're able to change that, luckily enough. So I'll probably change it to Oregon against Gonzaga with you guys if Drake bows out to Wichita State. All right, Michigan, LSU.
Michigan.
I'm going Michigan too.
Also Michigan.
Florida State, Colorado. I'm going with the Buffaloes.
Florida State.
Florida State.
Ooh, I think the Buffaloes got the best player on the court, McKinley McWright, in that game against Florida State. I won't be shocked if Florida State beats them. They have a good coach and a good team. But I'm gonna go with Colorado. BYU, Texas. Oh, wait a minute. Do you have Michigan State beating BYU, guys?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Oh.
I still have Texas winning.
You guys have Texas?
I have Michigan State winning.
Interesting. I have BYU into the Sweet 16. BYU's not bad. I know people don't think they're that good because they're in the Gonzaga conference and they killed all those teams with Gonzaga. But BYU nearly beat Gonzaga in the WCC title game a couple days ago. And I like what I've seen for BYU, so I think they make a little bit of a surprise push into the Sweet 16 and knock off Texas. What about, who do you have in the Sweet 16 playing Texas? I know you guys have Texas in there.
Alabama.
Bama.
I have Bama in the Sweet 16 against BYU. And I have Bama in the Elite 8. Do you guys have Bama in the Elite 8?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have them facing?
Florida State.
Yep.
I have Colorado in there. So all three of us have Michigan out in the Sweet 16. I think this is where the injury to Isaiah Livers catches up with them. I like this Colorado team. I think they can make a run. And then I have Alabama in the Final Four.
Mm-hmm. So do I.
Yep.
Wow, we're 2 for 2 for Final Four picks so far. All right, to the bottom right. So this is Illinois side. Do you guys have Illinois in the Sweet 16?
Loyola Chicago.
Ooh!
Wow.
Ballsy!
That's good.
Yeah, I don't think Illinois is as good as people think they are.
I agree with you, but I have them out in another round. I'll give away the
I
round a little
do.
bit. So you're on Illinois State?
Yeah.
All right, what about Oklahoma State? You guys have Oklahoma State, right?
Yeah.
I have Liberty. I have Liberty in the Sweet 16 upsetting Tennessee. I think Liberty's the surprise 13 seed in the Sweet 16. I know Joe has Ohio. I'm going with Liberty as the surprise 13 seed in the Sweet 16. Who do you guys have in that spot? Oklahoma State?
Yes.
That wouldn't surprise me. They have the best player in college basketball, in Cade Cunningham.
Yep.
Do you have Oklahoma State too, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would make sense. All right. And then how about San Diego State, West Virginia?
I'm going San
West
Diego
Virginia.
State.
I'm with Joe. I think San Diego State's fair. I don't love West Virginia. I don't like how they finished their season. They lost in the Big 12 tournament. They had that like a heartbreaking loss to Baylor at home at the end of the Big 12 season. I don't like how their season finished. I won't be surprised if they advance, but I'm going to go with San Diego State too. And what about, do you guys have Rutgers in the Sweet 16 or Houston?
Rutgers.
Rutgers.
Oh my goodness. I'm going with Houston over Clemson into the Sweet 16. I think Houston's better than you guys think. So do you guys have Illinois in the Elite 8? Or no, you don't, Joe, but do you have Illinois in the Elite 8?
Yes.
I have Loyola Chicago in the Elite 8.
So Loyola Chicago over Tennessee. Wow. So Loyola Chicago. I want to see them do well. They're a fun team to root for. And then what about the bottom half of that bracket?
I have San Diego State.
Ooh, I got Houston in the Elite 8. What about you, say?
We're going Rutgers.
Oh my god.
They're
So
winning.
Rutgers against West Virginia. Oh no, so you have Rutgers beating West Virginia.
Yeah.
Wow. And then
Those are
Rutgers,
major upsets.
you don't have Rutgers over Illinois, do you?
No.
Okay, I was just going to say, it's funny that if those two teams played in the Elite 8, it'd be a Big Ten game in the Elite 8. So that's a fun little subplot there. And the other possibility in this region where two teams from the same conference can be in the Elite 8 is Oklahoma State and West Virginia. If they make the Elite 8, they'll play against each other. So that'd be pretty cool. They're both in the Big 12. Who do you guys have coming out of that region?
San Diego State.
I have Houston upsetting Illinois in the Elite 8.
Really?
Yeah, I think Houston's good. They have a good player in Quentin Grimes, who was a Kansas transfer. They play good defense. I think Houston could upset Illinois. And Illinois is not good defensively either.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going with the Illinois in the Final Four C?
Hold on. My phone died. I have to pull up a bracket on my computer. You can move on.
All right, just let me know. And then Baylor, Carolina. I got Baylor in the Sweet 16.
I have Baylor also.
Baylor should beat UNC. UNC will score with Baylor, but they'll beat UNC.
Yeah.
Do you guys have Winthrop in the Sweet 16?
No, Purdue's going to beat them.
I'm going Winthrop. That's your other double-digit seed that I think will be in the Sweet 16. I like this Winthrop team. They lost once all year. Purdue is okay. They're not bad. Who do you have in the Sweet 16 C against Baylor?
Purdue.
So you're with Joe there. All right. So you guys have Texas Tech instead of Utah State. So who do you guys have between Tech and Arkansas?
I have Texas Tech.
Yeah.
If it's Texas Tech against Arkansas, I would agree with you guys, but I have Utah State in there instead, but I'm going with Arkansas into the Sweet 16, if that makes sense. If that was Texas Tech playing Arkansas, I'd pick Texas Tech. Florida and Ohio State, I'm going to go with Ohio State. I know, Joe, you have Virginia Tech. You have them beating Ohio State or nah?
I have Ohio State winning.
Yeah. Yeah, the Buckeyes should be in the Sweet 16 easy. Do you guys have Baylor in the Elite Eight?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So do I. Yeah, Winthrop, Cinderella season should come to an end against Baylor in my bracket. What about Ohio State? You guys have them in the Elite Eight?
Texas Tech.
Ooh.
Ohio.
I'm going with Ohio State. Actually, no, I'm kidding, guys. I'm going with Arkansas in the Elite Eight. I put Arkansas in there. But if Texas Tech wins that game, I would agree with Joe. Because I think Texas Tech is really good. But I just like how Arkansas is playing right now. They have a good coach, and I like how they're playing. But I have them losing to Baylor in the Elite Eight.
I have Texas Tech going to the Final Four.
Wow.
What?
That won't be stunning. Maybe I'll look at a future for Texas Tech going to the Final Four. I might do a solo podcast with futures for the tournament. That's what I'm going to consider. If Texas Tech has good odds to go to the Final Four, I might pull the trigger on that from a betting standpoint. But do you have Baylor in the Final Four, C?
No. My Final Four is Gonzaga, Alabama, Ohio, Illinois.
Ooh, you're going with Ohio State. So Ohio State, Illinois in the Final Four game, because that's pretty cool because those are obviously two teams from the Big Ten. Who do you like there, C?
To win?
Between Ohio State and Illinois. A rematch of the Big Ten title game, by the way.
Ohio.
Ooh. Who do you have in the final on that side of the bracket, Joe?
I have Texas Tech for San Diego State, with Texas Tech winning.
Texas Tech. Interesting. And then on the opposite side of the bracket, we all agree, Gonzaga and Bama. I'm going with the Zags.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
And I have Gonzaga. Baylor as my final. Joe has Gonzaga, Texas Tech, which would be pretty cool. Texas Tech in 2 national title games in a row. That'd be weird. And C has Gonzaga and Ohio State. I'm going to go with Gonzaga as my champion, as they'll make history by being the first team to go undefeated since Indiana back in the day.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm going with Gonzaga also.
Yeah, so we all have Gonzaga for our national champion pick. So that was fun, guys. Maybe after the tournament we will reunite and recap our brackets, or maybe after one of these rounds, or maybe before the Final Four we'll do like a recap show on what went right and what went wrong for our brackets. So, that, like I said, this was fun, guys, and I'll certainly do something again. Hope you guys have a fun night.
Thank you, Madison.
Thank you, Madison.